Mum got this for Dad like 2 years ago and he hasn't used it, but now he is. So yeah, he's done his he's on his third race, and then he's gonna have one where someone drives him around like a maniac. And then we're gonna head into Castle Combe town, have a look around there, and then go home probably, pick up Dan.
Who's in for trouble?
Yeah, he's been naughty. He's been rude to Mum, calling her a witch and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, so obviously I'll insert clips of Dad from the racing. I haven't really been able to get good footage because it's kind of like further like out that way, you know, so it's not that good. But yeah, I'll show you around Castle Combe and stuff in the cute little quaint town and keep you updated. So we will see you in a bit.
The sun keeps shining.
Yes, it is quite cold, so, but yeah, so we'll see you in the next clip, I suppose. Bye! Right now, and we are in this little church. Yeah, it's really cute. It's got a little graveyard. They're very old stones. It's really beautiful. So we just bought a lemon drizzle cake from this place. It's basically done all on trust, so you have to put it through the letterbox. I've taken a few pictures, so I'll insert it here. So we bought like a big lemon drizzle cake for £5, really well, like really like good pricing. So yes, it's a very cute town. We love it here. So we are at the manor house here in Castle Combe. It is literally the most beautiful place ever. It's a hotel and a golf club. So it must be really expensive to stay here, but really nice to come here for like a romantic weekend away. Hint, hint. Daniel. But yeah, it's really lovely. We've got, what's this thing called, Mum? A ware. You got a ware here. You got like a really old tree. It's so tall. Yeah, and then obviously the ware like leads to the town as well. But it's honestly the most beautiful little manor and garden area. It's so beautiful. I think it's private, but nothing's been said to us, so we've taken lots of photos here because it's so beautiful. Yeah, so I think we have to come back here one day and stay here for the weekend. So Daniel, yeah, just letting you know, babe, we'll probably come here. So we need to start saving. Love you, babe. Hi guys. So we just carried on walking. Oh yeah. And I did actually. I saw it flying. And yeah, we went to the river, took took some photos. I took some crazy photos. I nearly dropped in, which is fun. Anything for, you know, the vlog. And yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we should be on that side anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and an old man like pretended to try and push me in. But yes, we have done our exploring of the little town. It's very cute. A little quaint little town. There is things to do like near here, but like you need a car basically. Obviously we have a car, but you know, maybe another time. But we're gonna head home now. But first we gotta pick up Daniel. So we will do that. Maybe we might pick up some McDonald's or something on the way home. Oh damn, I didn't bring my tokens. But yeah, so I will get back to you when obviously we're with Dan and stuff. And yeah, so yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea and I make videos on travelling and midwifery. So today is going to be a travel video because I'm heading off to Shrewsbury in England. I'm obviously in England, so it's just going to be like a day trip, but I thought I'd vlog it for you guys because for Christmas I got my mum a prison tour thing, so I didn't realise it was in Shrewsbury. So we're going to do that today, and I think we're going to do the Shrewsbury Castle and try and go to the cat cafe that they've got there, and then see what else really we can do whilst we're down there. And if we can't do everything, we might go back maybe next year or something, but we'll see. So, but I thought I'd vlog it for you guys, so I hope you enjoy this video and let's just get going.
The vehicle stops outside the doors and the prisoners are coming out. We have a warrant. That tells us who we've got from the courts, sometimes transfers from other prisons. We have spaces, about 35, 40 spaces when we release the prisoners in the morning to wherever they're going, and we'll just keep taking prisoners through the door until we fill those spaces up. We don't know who we're getting because we just get numbers from the court. Stafford Crown Court, you've got 10 coming. Shrewsbury Crown Court, you've got 15 coming, and so on and so forth. However, when I say we don't know, it's not strictly true. I know some of these men that walk to these doors, and I don't need a piece of paper to tell me who they are. We've known each other for 25 and 30 years. I've known some of these men since we were young offenders, 18, 19 years old, and they're now in their 40s and 50s. Few and far between as they get older, but there's still some of them coming in over 20 or 30 years of their life in and out of prisons. Okay, just squeeze them off the end there. Very nice, thank you. That's it, just come inside the door, guys, thank you. So we're squeezing them in, as you can see. So now we know what we got. Remember, some of those prisons that I do know really well, they're not so difficult for us to manage through these doors because we know each other. We know each other really, really well. They know the paperwork, they know the routines, they just want to get into those cells. They might know if they've got any mates in here, they just want to settle down and crack on. So we can get them done without too many hassles. It's the ones that we don't know that we've got to be careful of. There are some prisoners coming in that have got serious drug addiction problems, and they might be in the middle of withdrawals. Arrested by the police one day, magistrates court the next day, coming to us in the afternoon. And they haven't really had any detox medication. And sometimes at a physical level they're not well, and sometimes up here as well, they're angry, they're agitated, they want somebody to give them some, and they can be a little bit of a challenge at the best of times, okay? That isn't our big problem though. Our bigger problem are mental health issues with prisoners. It's a huge problem for us these days, not something I remember too well in the 1970s, but the last official figures from a few years ago, 73% of prisoners in a prison will have some level of mental health issue and or a condition that needs to be managed. We're talking about the whole spectrum. We can talk about Asperger's, ADHD, personality disorders, bipolar, schizophrenics, psychopaths, sociopaths, paranoid schizophrenics, people struggling with anxiety and depression. And they may have more than one condition. So you can see, they can be difficult. Prisons are not built for those kind of prisoners. And we're not trained for that. Training for prison officers has virtually been unchanged in the last 30 odd years. But the dynamics of prisoners have changed drastically in these places. Remember, anybody seen Porridge? Some of us all Porridge, brilliant. And people say, is it like that? And I go, it's for its time. Yes, we know it's an exaggeration because it's a comedy, but it's for its time. When you look at Fletcher and Godber and Mr. McKine, it's before its time. You cannot make that comedy today, because the prisoners are coming to these doors are wholly different characters than they ever were. But, so we manage them because we don't have any choices, and we're not really trained to deal with it. So that's what makes life a lot more difficult for us as well, of course. But this is the last chance hotel. There is nowhere else. So this is where they're coming to. The other thing it's going to do is give us the offences, and that's important to us. I've got young people here, so I'm going to talk Rob Harris, Ian Huntley, Fred West. You'll understand what I mean by those kind of offences, because they're going to end up in that little room at the end. They're going to be separated from the other prisoners. They're not going to survive up on those wings for as long as it takes prisoners to find out. And prisoners will find out very quick today. Modern technology. First of all, they've got TVs, they've got newspapers. Some of this stuff is all on the media. They've also got access to their friends and families through visits and through telephones. And many of them have got illegal mobile phones that have been smuggled into prison, which aren't recorded, so they're having these conversations about people coming through these doors sometimes. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you very much. Be an eye out so you can see. Ex-police officers, ex-prison officers are highly likely to end up in there as well. Same reasons. They find that you're an ex-uniform in one of those landings. You can imagine the potential problems that may be coming your way. Some prisoners ask for protection as soon as they step to these doors, and yet they've been into prison 10 times before with no trouble. I've got problems this time, boss. What's that then? And it's usually gang-related, drug-related, debt-related. Something's gone on out there. There's a feud. And they're coming into prison now, and the other side have got mates up on those landings. We're coming through these doors, it's payback time. There's nowhere to hide in prison. You can't lock yourself in the cell for 24 hours a day. You've got to come out to get visits, to go for exercise, to get your meals, to have showers, go to work, go to education. And that means they'll get at you. They reduced the staffing levels by 30% over the last 10 years. However, we're trying to redress that. We're only 25% less staff than we should have. That's not bad. And they've advertised they're going to give us 10,000 more prison places. They can't get staff into this job now. So where they're going to get another 3,000 staff on top of what they can't get is beyond me. I think that's probably, we know we were up for an election, so they're all going to be promising us the world as they always do. But that's the situation that we sit in at the moment, okay? So those are going to be on protection and kept separated from the other prisoners for as long as that's necessary. And then all the others will be in that room. They're going to be seen by the nurse. The nurse is going to be dealing with those to get them on the detox programs, dealing with those to refer to mental health teams. And we'll talk to prisoners about those that are harming themselves. And they may be doing it for the first time when they come to prison, or they may be doing it because they're doing it as a historic thing for them in their lives. Some might be have tried to take the ultimate step. When we find out all those things, we're going to have to deal and manage that as long as they're in prison. I'll talk how we do that when we get onto the wings, okay? And a general health check as well. When they come in, they also then go into there to be spoken to by what they call a first night officer. First night officers do things called cell sharing risk assessments, because most of our prisons put 2 prisoners in a cell. There are a number of prisons, not many, called single cell accommodation, but most of them are going in together. And unlike in the 40s and 50s and 60s, out there today, our society is very diverse, and that means that's reflected in prisons. You've got to worry about things like homophobia, racism, religious intolerances, gang warfare, street gangs, drug gangs. The reason why these 2 prisoners may not be seen eye to eye when they're in a cell together. Remember, they're behind a locked door. Things can go wrong, as they have done occasionally. It's not a guarantee, but it's the best we can do with the resources we've got to identify those who go, that's not going to work. Most prisoners manage. When we put them in cells, they manage to get them. We don't know what the relationship's like, really. I've got to be honest. Could be like that, could be like that. You could be the top dog, or you could be this one here, underneath. But they'll learn to deal with that, because there aren't a lot of choices, are there, let's be honest. The other thing that officers are going to keep an eye out for are things to do with people that may have some idea of being sympathetic towards the kind of terrorism that we see on the streets today. And that we might get information from police, from probation, from other organisations outside, plus our own interview system. Got to be very careful, because they may be coming to prison now, and we've got 2 kinds at the moment. We've got the ISIS group, we all know about them. We've also got the far right, the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists. Joe Cox, the MP, murdered by somebody from the far right group, Britain First, Britain First. They may be coming in, not so much them, because they're direct terrorists, but there may be others that have got sympathies, and they may be then trying to convince other prisoners and radicalise them, as they call it. Some prisoners coming to these doors are highly intelligent, well educated, and they have good skills at manipulation. And some prisoners are coming through that are not highly intelligent, not that well educated, and they're easily manipulated. So those prisoners that can will be trying to get into the ears and the eyes and the heads of those that can't. And that means they may go out of these doors far more dangerous than they ever stepped in. And that means innocent people could be losing their lives. So it is important bits of work, and it shouldn't be a one-off. You don't just do it and go, that's it. You should be checking these things. It's difficult for us to say, understand huge amount of problems and issues, but we do the best we can with what we've got. That's that. Then they come out and they have all bits and pieces put onto a computer, like names, they get prison numbers, they get ID cards, photographs taken, and then we do a check on all the property they brought through the doors. Guys, and I mean men, I needed a volunteer that's over 18. All sit one way, in silence, sewing mailbags. And they kept doing it for this prison up until maybe 1968. So they were doing it for a long, long time. Until they built the workshops out there, they were still doing a lot of that hand sewing on the board and stuff. When they finished back behind these doors, Costa Association in those days, they come out to get meals, go to chapel, and go on exercise. They didn't get to wander around like they do today. We didn't have association in this prison until 1996, I think it was. So prisoners at 5 o'clock were locked up behind the doors in the week. At the weekends, like today, we get the 2 landings out, take them to the gymnasium and show them a film. Shawshank Redemption, eh? Shawshank Redemption. They come back, all prisons like this, prisoners eat behind their cell doors. In the afternoon, we get the other 2 landings out, take them in there and show them the same film. And then on Sunday, they just show another film and do it the other way around. That's all. So there was no real association. These days, prisoners, or since the 90s, prisoners are allowed to mix. So they can wander around these landings, they can go in the office to sort things out with staff, they can have showers, they can clean cells, they can sit in each other's cells, play games, play cards. Some of them are allowed up and down these stairs to access the games that you see up and down there. That's not a big deal, really. But the problem you've got is when you let all your prisoners out of cells, doing those things are great. But they're not all doing those things. Your dealers, your bullies, your intimidators have now got access on these landings to other prisoners in a way they never really had access before. Because they were always controlled in workshops, on exercise, so they were always being watched. Now it's not so easy to do. Because when you've got the 350 prisoners out on this wing, there are only 8 staff to supervise them. There's only 2 officers on each landing. Imagine how difficult that is. One of them's going to be stuck in the office doing paper, I can guarantee that. And I might be walking around here. Just keep an eye on what's going on, take a walk around, talk to some prisoners. Sometimes I'm stood here for a minute, just keep an eye on what's going on down there. Prisoners might come up and talk to me, different things, ask questions, might come up and show the phones as well landing. Some of this, there's somebody down in cell, one causing trouble with another prisoner. By the time I got there, I might think, what's going on there? I'm not gone at all. There's no cameras in cells, you're not allowed to put cameras in cells. So whatever they're doing, by the time I got there, you've got a COOLPIX outside the cell. And as soon as I make a move to get up there, screws come in, off they go. So, Mr. Goodwin, what do you after, boss? So it's virtually impossible to stay right up. You do the best you can. You can only do the best you can. But when you've got them all out, those retentions rise. Because they've now got access to each other that they never had before. But there you go. The brickwork that you see is different there. That's because in the Victorian days, that was a hole and back to a slot. There was no electricity in here, no lights as such, nothing set in here. The candle there at night time, and the prisoners would have the Bible to read, to the light. At a certain time, the candle would come out, wouldn't water in there, just a block, anything off. So you can see. You'll notice in Victorian prisons, all the windows are high up. You only see them because all the prisons have very low white windows. They were never built to be looked into. They were built to let light and fresh air in. In the days when you needed as much fresh air in these buildings you could get, and as much light as you could get natural light. There's also another thing we used to do way back to Victorian times and before. As a punishment, they could put you onto the treadmills, like hard labour, on the treadmills, or what they call the cranking system. So many revolutions per hour, 8 hours a day. That was mind-numbing. That was meant to be. Any problems of any of them lined up doing that for the old turnkey? You come and tighten the screws up at the end. tightening the screws used to make that harder for them to do. Still the same amount of revolutions. Get on with that then. The screws, that's where we get our unofficial title from. You've probably heard of it, been used around the place. Prisoners still use the terminology, and some officers still refer to themselves as screws. I should bring that back. And the day.
Hi guys, so I didn't end any of those two video things, but I decided to put Shrewsbury and Castle Combe videos all into one video. It just makes it easy because I didn't have a lot of footage for both videos, so it just made more sense. But yeah, Castle Combe was really fun. It was really beautiful there. I do want me and Dan to go there and stay there for the weekend. It's really nice. I have looked at it before and it's like £500 for one night. And it's going to take a while to get there because we don't drive. But that's maybe for the future. We'll see. But yeah, no, it was a really fun day. Yeah, I don't really remember what we did that evening, but I know we picked up Dan and Dan stayed the night. But yeah. And then Shrewsbury, obviously I hardly got any footage. I can't remember where all the footage went, but I found a few videos I took from the tour of the not the castle, of the prison. But it was really interesting to learn about it, like what went on in the prison. We saw the bit where they got executed, like where they hung them and stuff. It was really sad. And we also went to the mother and baby cell, which was really sad, just seeing like a little cot next to the bed. But obviously that was the thing back then. I don't know if it's a thing now, but I know there are pregnant people who live in prison. But yeah, anyways, yeah, it was a fun 2 days. So obviously these happened at different times, but it was last year, 2019. I'm going through all the footage that I still had, so I thought I'd make it into a video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. And yeah, I will see you next Friday for a brand new video of me and Dan at 6 PM, and obviously another video on Sunday with me at 4 PM. So yeah, I will see you then. Bye guys.